Think being a billionaire means you're on Forbes' list with a shiny profile? Think again. There's a whole squad of ultra-rich folks who keep it on the down low. No glitz, no glamour, just stacks of cash they're not waving around. While most of us are sweating over bills, these secret billionaires are playing it cool, staying out of the limelight. But why? Maybe they love their privacy, or maybe they've got money moves we don't even know about. Either way, they're proof that having $1 billion in the bank doesn't mean you need to be front-page news. So, let's dive into the world of the hidden billionaires. The ones who've got the cash, but skip the fame game. Secrets of the Billionaire Club. In the land of riches and billions, Forbes stands as the mighty keeper of the billionaire count. You might think America is bursting at the seams with 735 billionaires, worth a jaw-dropping $4.5 trillion altogether. But hold on, there's a twist in this tale that Forbes slips in quietly. The number they give is just a guess. When Forbes drops their billionaire list bomb, they sprinkle it with a tiny disclaimer. Hey folks, we've got 735 billionaires here, but who knows how many are really out there? To cook up this list, Forbes rolls out a big operation, spanning 16 countries and over 50 employees. They dive deep into financial records, chat up employees, grill rivals, and even knock on billionaires' doors, hoping for a sneak peek into their piggy banks. But here's the plot twist. Most billionaires keep their vaults locked tight. Forbes pleads, "Can we take a peek at your cash stash?" Some nod and let the curtain fall on their financial secrets. But many just give Forbes the cold shoulder. So, what you get is a mix of hard facts and educated guesses. It's like trying to count stars on a cloudy night. You get some, but there are many hiding in the shadows. Now, let's talk about the mysterious billionaires, the ones who play hide and seek with Forbes. First up, you've got the sneaky government leaders who treat their country's central bank like a personal piggy bank. But wait, there's more. There's a whole other league of invisible billionaires out there, sipping champagne in secret. Forbes and Bloomberg, the big shots in billionaire tracking, have a secret to spill. They're lost in the billionaire maze. They confess behind closed doors. Folks, we're flying blind here. We've got no GPS for the most common type of American billionaire. In an interview with the New York Times, Kyrie Dolan, the editor overseeing Forbes' billionaire list, painted a picture of the elusive billionaire. She described someone who quietly made a fortune, like selling a stake in a business for a cool $250 million back in the 90s and then investing it wisely. Simple, right? Well, that's the tricky part. A $250 million deal sounds huge, but unless it's tied to a big brand, it slips under the radar. Think about it. How often do you hear about businesses quietly making millions by selling to other businesses? It's a secret world of wealth, where only the insiders have the key. Dolan spilled the beans. These quiet millionaires are everywhere, making deals every day, flying under the radar of fame. Back in 1999, during the dot-com frenzy, someone cashes out big and dives into the market. They live a decent life, spending a modest $1.2 million a year or $100,000 a month. Fast forward to today, and boom, they're sitting on $3.3 billion. But here's the kicker. Nobody knows unless they want to shout it from the rooftops. Sure, there are flashy billionaires, the ones who love flaunting their wealth like peacocks strutting their feathers. Then there are the quiet ones, the invisible tycoons who slip through life unnoticed. Their companies might not be household names, but behind closed doors, they're kings and queens of their financial realms. Most billionaires live in a stealth mode, hidden from the paparazzi's flashbulbs. They share their wealth whispers only with family, trusted accountants, and the ever-watchful IRS. Why billionaires dodge the Forbes spotlight? You see, the first reason billionaires avoid the Forbes limelight is clear. Public attention brings a host of problems. Think about lottery winners harassed by money seekers, frivolous lawsuits, and distant relatives suddenly becoming business idea enthusiasts. It's a headache that often leads to financial downfall, 7 times more likely to end up bankrupt than the average American. But it's not just about annoying Thanksgiving dinners. Known wealth can be a target for serious crimes like kidnappings and burglaries. Security teams can help, but they're costly and invasive, turning your golden years into a security management gig. Now, on to the second reason, association. Many billionaires cringe at the thought of rubbing shoulders with those who pay for Forbes articles. The magazine's revenue model has shifted, relying more on paid features than traditional subscriptions. This means some articles are more about wallet size than real achievements. Take the Forbes 30 Under 30 list, once a badge of honor. Now it's a mix of paid placements and a sprinkle of legit names for credibility. While names like Sam Bankman-Fried and Martin Shkreli add weight, the list's integrity has taken hits as some featured faces ended up behind bars. So, by staying off Forbes' radar, billionaires dodge not just unwanted attention and security nightmares, but also avoid being lumped in with the pay-to-play crowd. Being in a Forbes article can boost your career mojo, especially on your resume or LinkedIn. It might set you back a few bucks, but hey, it could be worth it. Now, for the rich and famous, it's a different story. They steer clear of too much limelight. After all, nobody wants to seem desperate for attention, right? Plus, you can't always tell who got into Forbes on their own merit, who got dragged in, or who bought their way in. Then there are the sneaky ones, scammers who flash their Forbes or Money magazine features like badges of honor. They're in it for the credibility boost, especially when they're peddling online courses or crypto dreams. And you know what? It works on some folks. They see the Forbes stamp and think, this must be legit. But here's the kicker. Savvy business types, especially those in the billionaire club, see through this game. Being in Forbes doesn't always impress them. Sometimes it's a red flag. The third reason most billionaires steer clear of publications like Forbes is simple: selection bias. Think about it. Those who make it into Forbes are usually riding high on their success. But what goes up must come down, right? And when you're already at the top, there's not much further up to go. Sure, big shots like CEOs or those born into high-profile families can't dodge the spotlight. But anyone actively seeking attention knows the gamble. They crave the spotlight despite the risks because, well, they love the attention. Here's the catch though. These attention seekers often struggle with long-term wealth management. They're more prone to taking big risks, overly confident in their business acumen. Take someone like Kevin O'Leary. He'd probably be even richer today if he'd just parked his early winnings in the market and chilled. And then there's the customer side of things. People love rooting for the underdog, like small family businesses, not mega corporations. But if they find out the owners are already swimming in billions, that loyalty might waver. Known billionaires also face inflated quotes and side-eye when they try to score a deal. Now, there's a pretty interesting thing about being a billionaire: keeping your wealth a secret. See, there aren't many good things about letting everyone know how rich you are. In fact, it can cause a bunch of problems. Smart billionaires get this. They know that staying under the radar helps them keep their billions. So, if you're aiming to be a smart billionaire, you might want to think about staying anonymous and not flaunting your wealth to the world. Strategic moves for business sales. We've given you the lowdown on how money moves, so here's the scoop on what to do next. If you're cashing out from selling a business, going the private sale route is usually the smoother move. These days, jumping into the public market with an IPO is like throwing a huge party, but it's only worth it if you're aiming to be the next big tech giant. If your dreams aren't quite that colossal, going public might not be the best fit. For those already swimming in the big leagues, like Facebook or Amazon, the private equity route or getting snapped up by a bigger fish is often a quieter, simpler path. It's like selling your car without putting up a flashy billboard. It's a more discreet way to seal the deal. Plus, it keeps the deal details away from the prying eyes of Forbes reporters. Once you've bagged your cash, it's time to spread those wings and invest wisely across the market. Diversify your investments like you're planting seeds in different fields. It's a smart move that reduces the risk of relying too heavily on any one company's success. Now, here's a heads up from the SEC playbook. If you own a sizable chunk like 5% or more of a public company, you've got to file a Form 13D. It's like raising a flag to let everyone know you're a big player in the game. Transparency is the name of the game in the finance world. Switching gears, let's talk strategy. If a major shareholder holding more than 5% needs to sell fast, buckle up. That move can send shockwaves through the stock prices. Investors take note of who's holding the reins in a company. If it's folks facing financial storms personally, it could spell rough waters for the stock, even if the company's doing well on paper. The Billionaires Playbook. As a billionaire who values privacy, it's crucial to limit individual investments to less than 4.99% of a company's shares. This not only maintains anonymity, but also ensures a diversified portfolio, which is a smart move in the investment world. The SEC, however, can still sniff around if you own more than 10% of a public company or hold top positions like CEO, CFO, or company director. So, be mindful of taking too many high-profile roles if you prefer flying under the radar. Now, let's talk about sitting on boards. Sure, you can have a billion-dollar portfolio, but only the holdings in companies where you're a director will be public knowledge. If you want to be on a few boards, go for it, but keep in mind that it'll put your name out there. Another thing to watch out for is lawsuit discovery. If you end up in a legal battle, anything dug up by lawyers becomes public record unless sealed, which is rare. The best defense against lawsuits? Flying low on the radar. So, as a new billionaire aiming for privacy, you're already on the right track. Billionaires are savvy when it comes to their finances. They often utilize holding companies and trusts in states with robust asset protection and privacy laws, such as Nevada and North Dakota. For those outside the US, my video on the Panama Papers sheds light on how global billionaires navigate these waters. Once your financial structure is in place, the key is to keep a low profile. You can live luxuriously in a beautiful home, but ensure it's in a secluded area and not the flashiest on the block. Drive a fancy car, but don't flaunt it excessively on social media. Opt for private flights, but avoid conspicuous branding on your plane. The goal is to be unassuming and not a target for sensationalism. If media outlets come knocking, play it cool and politely deflect any assumptions about your wealth. After all, being too boring to write about and having wealth that's tough to verify are your best defenses against unwanted attention. Want to know who's flying under Forbes' radar? Like and subscribe to stay informed about our upcoming updates.